The United States makes the UN work when it wants it to work. And that is exactly the way it should be, because the only question to the United States is what's in our national interest.
My name is John, and the International Criminal Court is now in session. It's been a while. Basically a whole month plus since I last made a video, because nothing much has been going on except for a few events, which I'm about to talk about in today's video. So, yeah, it's been a while. It's October 1st, 2023. There were no videos in September 2023 at all, because I just didn't see a need to really make one that would at least last long enough. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, today's October 1st, 2023, and, to be quite honest with all of you people, it's been a huge snooze fest. A huge snooze fest. So without any further ado, let's break it down. So I'm sure all of you know by now that Robotone, the highly contested village in Zaporozhye Oblast, has fallen to the armed forces of Ukraine, though not without a lot of high casualties on their end. They may have captured the village, but the problems are obvious. The Russians are still shelling them hard with basically infinite artillery strikes, and the whole village itself is destroyed. So even if they captured it, it wouldn't matter, because Russians are just going to keep shelling any AFU positions until they exhaust themselves. So yeah, but Robotone last month has fallen to the armed forces of Ukraine. Or no, I think it was... Wait, yeah, technically it was last month, because we're now in October, and I think it was in September when it happened. And yeah. So yeah, Robotone has fallen to the armed forces of Ukraine. No development on this front here, the Pitagaki front. That's dead. There was a bit of development going on in the Kherson Oblast, but everything, though, is basically a gray zone except for this area here, which is like the central part of Dachi. But yeah, there's nothing much going on that front. Even though I have been hearing word on the street that Ukrainians want to launch a new phase of their WoW offensive on the left bank of the Dnieper River into Kherson Oblast, so they can try to reach Crimea. A big risk, if you ask me, because they would have to cross the waters, which many those say I think by now is dried up or what. And not to mention that in order to get to Crimea, they would first need to take Energodar and its nuclear plant. So then they could have that wide open road to the south, to Crimea. But let me tell you all that Russia is going to defend Crimea to the last man. I don't think they're going to go home that easily. They won't. But, yeah, it's pretty much been a dead front line. And you know what? Let's actually compare the situation today to, like, last month or so, okay? So today is October 1st, 2023. Let's wind the clock back to... I guess, last month or so. Let's wind this clock back to September, 17th, okay? Let's see if I can actually get the map to load up. But yeah, look at that. Since, the fall of Robotone to the AFU, nothing much has been going on, right? So yeah, I'm backing up. Not much has been going on. Literally, look at that. And there have been claims of a breakthrough of the armed forces of Ukraine in the direction of Verbove. But again, nothing much has been going on. Russians are holding. And same in this area too, in the Velika Novosilka direction. Ever since they basically secured everything south of Velika Novosilka, it's basically been a dead front. The Russians have held their ground. And they're also about to take, the Russians are about to actually take the suburb of Donetsk, Mariinka. That's about to fall to Russia. It's only a matter of time because that place is all just rubble now. There's like literally nothing left. And yeah, nothing much has been going on there. Nothing much has been going on here, even though a lot of people have been talking about, I guess, this little village here, Opitne, falling back to AFU, but so far nothing has happened there. And Divka is silent. And the only like notable place where there has been like armed forces of Ukraine like victories has been like the Bakhmut or Artemovsk flanks. So as all of you know by now, Klashivka has already fallen to the AFU. Now this is from like early September, and this is it now. Kromove, by the way, before anyone says, that's always been under the control of the armed forces of Ukraine, or a gray zone. Russians never took it. They were never able to take it. And yeah. So this is like the only place. A lot of people have been talking about this village here falling to the Russian forces, but I've seen nothing to really suggest that, at least yet. But I would highly recommend people to keep an eye on that. Keep an eye out on that. Now, in the direction of Kupiansk, it is now confirmed that the Russians have blown up the bridges that would connect the left bank of the Oskar River to the right bank, which is essentially the key to the entirety of Kharkiv Oblast or Kharkov Oblast. So it is absolutely inevitable and absolutely certain that the Russians are going to launch an offensive to take the entirety of the left bank of the Oskar River and maybe Liman as well. Russians really want to regain a lot of what they lost last September in 2022 when Ukrainians launched the WoW offensive there. But yeah, that's pretty much it, if anything. So yeah, that's going to pretty much do it for the front. But there have been things going on the political side of things. And yeah, I'll talk about them now before we move on. Oh my god, Deep State UA thinks Prussia is temporarily occupied. Too bad it's recognized as a part of, literally as a part of Russia by the international community. So, sorry. But yeah, Slovakia has elected a allegedly pro-Russian government into power, though he still has to build up his coalition in order to pass the laws that he once passed. But it is now confirmed that a far left, like, conservative group has won the elections. Robert Fico, I think that's his name, or Fico. He won the elections in Slovakia, and he has pledged that he would cease arming and allowing the Slovakian borders being used as a way to arm the Ukrainians. So that would make it like the second country of like around like 4 of the nations from being able to access the Ukrainian border. So yeah, Hungary is closed off. Slovakia will soon be closed off. So basically, it all comes down to Poland and Romania. The Baltics are too far away. They're all like bordering Belarus or Russia. So that's out of the question. That's literally out of the question. So yeah, going forward, NATO is going to be only able to supply the Ukrainians through Romania and Poland, with Poland being, of course, the main supply route. Though, I should mention, for the last couple of weeks, there has been a lot of drama between the Polish government and the Ukrainian government. And I think it was over, like, history or something. And Poland has threatened to completely annex, or completely, like, axe, like, support. Sorry if I use annex. That's, like, the wrong word to describe. Maybe they'll look to annex maybe Western Ukraine, but that's not what's going on. But the Poles are threatening to basically discontinue arming the armed forces of Ukraine, which would be a huge blow, because if they close those borders, that would be like the main supply route for the Ukrainians closed off. Because even if they try to arm them through Romania, Russia's just going to blow up literally the bridge that would lead up to Odessa. Right here. Everything else, though, is all separated by the water. Or they would have to go through Moldova, in which a big chunk of it, by the way, is blocked up by pro-Russian rebels. And in the United States, this is the last thing I'll mention before I go. Oh, wait, I don't think deep state UAs allow me to go there. But literally, in the United States, we just announced the U.S. government has passed a bill that would prevent a government shutdown. However, though, the establishment, though, had to make a concession, and part of that concession was temporarily stopping the aid to Ukraine for at least 45 days. Now, the U.S. government still wants to get it passed into law. They still want to give aid to Ukraine, but in order to avoid the government shutdown, which Republicans were mostly threatening to cause, by the way, to happen, they all ended up backing down and agreed to cease the aid while they negotiate a new deal to aid Ukraine. But let me tell you this, folks, okay? This leads me to believe that political support for supporting the Ukrainians is going down the toilet in the United States and especially in the West. The Ukrainian WOW offensive, or the Ukrainian counteroffensive, so far has been a failure. In fact, the Ukrainians fired their defense minister. That's not a good sign. And not to mention that a lot of guys are dying on the ground for nothing. And a lot of NATO hardware, which was given to Ukraine on a silver platter, is also being lost in massive numbers. And the Abrams are coming soon, by the way. And those are probably going to burn soon, too. Yeah, it's not looking good for our friends in Ukraine. It is not. Now, do I think the Russians are going to launch an offensive? As I said, they probably will, like in this area here, to regain some areas they lost in last year's WOW offensive by the Ukrainians. But otherwise, I don't see the Russians launching a WOW offensive until maybe next year, 2024, or at the latest in 2025. I mean, they really want to grind them out. They really want to exhaust them before they can proceed with anything. And that's why I don't think the Russians will launch the WOW offensive, because at this time, it just doesn't make any sense. And they also have to mobilize a lot of men in order to make it happen. Now, I have heard reports that Russia is looking to expand to like 3 million troops. And if that's confirmed, that means a WOW offensive by Russia is on the way. But for now, though, I'd say it's all speculation, it's all rumors. And I would highly recommend to not really believe those. I just wouldn't. And yeah, so the political theater right now involving the war in Ukraine is a little more interesting right now than on the front line. But keep an eye out on what's going on in Bakhmut, because Ukrainians are trying to basically cause Russians to withdraw from Bakhmut. And also keep an eye out on the left bank Oskar River, because with rumors of a new Russian offensive starting there, I would absolutely keep an eye on that. But also keep an eye out on this too. But here's the thing. October is the month of literally when the mud season starts, and when the really, really bad weather in the old Soviet Union also begins to take its effect. So yeah. So I hope all of you enjoyed today's video and were informed. And I hope to see you guys not in a month, but rather in maybe a week or two. So yeah, I'll keep you all guys updated with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, or the special military operation. And I'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Peace out.